Welcome back to the show. Today we have Dr. Nathan Jauvtis. He's the founder and chief scientist at Monday Motorbikes. Nathan, welcome back to the show.
Kevin, great to be back.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on the show. You were on the radio show previously, and we had a really good conversation, and I love what you guys are doing in kind of the electric bike space, but, I should say electric motorbike space. But maybe before we kind of get into that, let's get to know you a little bit better and kind of cover where you kind of grew up and where you went to school.
Yeah, I'm a Boston transplant, studied at Cornell University, 8 lovely years there, picked up a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, and had such a good time with that I decided to pick up a PhD in Mechanical Engineering.
That's amazing. So I kind of want to dive right into what exactly is Monday Motorbikes, and why did you decide to kind of build it?
Building these motorbikes was an obvious choice.
Okay.
It really stemmed from solving my own challenges of getting around San Francisco. I was living in San Francisco and I was working in San Francisco, and I needed a better way to get around. My car was good for getting out of the town. My bicycle was good for maybe a couple of blocks or a mile or two around my house. But if I needed to get across the city, there was no better way to get around than on a two-wheeler. And particularly mopeds were just absolutely brilliant. So we make an electric version of the popular mopeds of the 70s and 80s.
Sure. That's great. And like for anybody that hasn't seen the design, like I love the look of the bike. Like I think it looks cool.
That makes not just two of us, but seemingly thousands of us.
Sure. So I know, and if anybody wants to kind of check out the previous show we did where we kind of dive a lot deeper into kind of the whole manufacturing process and your background, but kind of walk me through why you decided to actually kind of just start Monday Motorbikes.
Yeah, Monday Motorbikes, like I said, it was started because we were solving our own problems of getting around the city. And the form factor that we chose, our bikes are about 150 pounds.
Okay.
And what makes that so appealing and so approachable is the form factor. We use these 17-inch wheels, which are good for really handling the city. They're not just tiny wheels for like on most scooters, but at the same time, it's not a big 400-pound machine. I like riding big motorcycles. Like riding tiny mopeds, but what's so cool about these bikes, I mean, there's a lot that's cool about them.
Sure.
But what's so cool is that it has that motorcycle fun and thrill, but without the responsibility that comes with a 400-pound machine. You don't need a license. You don't need registration. You don't need insurance. You can ride them in the bicycle lane. You can park them on the sidewalk, things that you just can't do with a motorcycle, and you can go faster and farther than on any bicycle.
Interesting. So that makes sense. So you guys kind of recently went through a name change. You used to be called Bolt, and anybody that's kind of seen you guys on the Kickstarter campaign, and then you guys kind of even on the previous show. So basically, just kind of, I don't really want to dwell on it, but you had to change the name for some legal reasons. It's kind of same team, same bike, correct?
Yeah, it's the same awesome bike, the same killer team, and the same vision. But we chose, rather than focusing on a legal fight that we really believe we could have won, we wanted to continue making these just killer bikes and share our passion for two wheels with the world.
Sure. No, that makes a lot of sense. So you got this thing. Kind of walk me through how you actually built this thing, right? Because you have this background in it. You were kind of working in the industry before you started this, but kind of walk me through kind of the early days of how, Monday Motorbikes came to be an actual bike.
Monday Motorbikes started with an idea.
Okay.
Right? As many products do. And that idea, before going from idea to consumer product, there's a process. There's design, there's prototype, there's iteration, there's manufacturing, all of these steps that a lot of people don't really see. They go to, let's just say, Best Buy, and they see a computer and it's like, oh, I like that computer. But what a lot of them don't realize is that there are many steps in the manufacturing process.
Sure.
My background in mechanical engineering and very much in manufacturing sort of helped guide that process. So we didn't start by taking a chunk of, or sorry, didn't start by taking a bite out of the entire problem. We just took individual bites, and at each iteration of the process, the product became more refined. And so a great example is our first prototype. It didn't have the embedded system. It didn't have the refined aesthetic. It was really proof of concept.
Okay.
We figured out how big do the batteries need to be, how powerful does the motor need to be, and how does the weight distribution feel? Because if we can't get the ride experience right, then what good is Bluetooth connectivity
Sure.
or clean aesthetics? So as motorcycle riders to begin with, we wanted to make sure that we had a thrilling, fun ride that was also very approachable. That was the sort of core problem.
Okay,
And
interesting.
once we got the ride feel and thrill and approachability right, that's when we refined the aesthetic to make it so to really take in a lot of the user feedback that we got from our early prototypes to implement that into our aesthetic. And then on the tech side of things, we then added our embedded system, and that's our sensor network, how all of the components then speak with each other, how to make the batteries smarter. They were safe, but they weren't smart. And now our batteries they're getting smarter every day.
What does that mean? Like, what does a smart battery mean?
Yeah, that's a good question. So historically, e-bicycles and e-scooters and electric cars used lead acid batteries,
Oh,
which
okay.
were pretty low cost and they were very heavy, but they were pretty durable. You could be really hard on them. When lithium came around, and we used lithium iron phosphate as our chemistry, when lithium came around, you have a lot more energy for a given, say, pound of batteries.
Oh, okay.
And there are a lot of benefits, but with that comes the responsibility of the manufacturer to make sure that the health of the actual batteries is maintained. And that's where a battery management system came in. And so we developed a battery management system that communicates among the battery and communicates to the bike itself.
Oh, interesting. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
pretty cool stuff.
So when you kind of mentioned Bluetooth, I'm assuming, like, does it connect to my phone? Like, walk me through kind of how do I manage it or watch this stuff?
Ultimately, we see these bikes as becoming rolling cell phones so that
Interesting.
they're always connected to the cloud, because when you have a cloud connected or internet ready motorbike, you can do a lot of things as a customer, also as a company. And and it's very important for us as a company to help inform the future design. But really what that means is we can provide features and functionality to the customers that enhances their ride, but also informs the future design of the bike. And just one second. Hey, we'll see you. Happy holidays. A couple of my guys, sorry.
No, it's all good.
Um, um, so when you have a cloud connected or internet ready motorbike, you can do a lot of things. Geofencing if you want to become a fleet manager and doing rental. Knowing how the batteries are behaving helps inform us the design of the future batteries. Learning how people ride, having updates, GPS tracking, if your bike gets stolen, all these kinds of things that really come for free to the user because we have this cloud connected motorbike.
Sure.
But you don't go right from a concept to cell phone, you work on the subsystems themselves. And right now, for us, that means Bluetooth connectivity. So right now, the bikes will connect to a mobile phone. Our mobile app then connects to the cloud. And it's a two-way street.
I got
So,
you.
so that the bike can speak to the cloud can also speak to the bike.
That's amazing. I love kind of tech companies that, well, I like how you're like a tech company and you're like a motorbike company, right? And you're kind of
Yeah.
merging the two together. And you're kind of in the perfect geographical location to kind of merge those two things together.
there's no better place in the world to be doing what we are doing today. It's really exciting.
Sure. So where exactly is your offices, just for people listening?
Our worldwide headquarters are in sunny Brisbane, California. We are the next town south of San Francisco.
Sure.
It's a little nook with the best weather around and great place for doing demo rides. And I'd like to invite anybody who's interested to come by. We offer demo rides, tours of our facility, and a chance to meet the team that really has kind of become my family.
Sure. That's great. So how big are you guys now?
We're a team of 13 exceptional individuals, and that covers engineering, that covers sales, it covers marketing, it covers fabrication and assembly. And we are still a startup, and
Sure.
we all wear lots of hats. So I'm a mechanical guy, but I'll also be doing some electrical. I might be doing some software. I'll be being involved in the strategic thinking. I'll also clean the toilets. We all wear lots of hats.
I love that though, right? That you guys are, kind of still, you kind of do it all. And you do all the manufacturing at your office there. I'm sure there's some parts that you don't fully do, but for the most part, you do everything kind of in San Francisco or Brisbane area?
Yeah. We for a long time we were making almost every part. I mean, we use off-the-shelf parts as
Sure.
appropriate, off-the-shelf motor, off-the-shelf handlebars, maybe wheels. But all of our body work, our batteries, our embedded system that we design, all the wire harnesses, all that stuff was done in-house for a long time. And then as we grew, we realized that there were some things that other people can do. So, for example, some of the machined parts, we can do them all. But if we let other people do them, that frees Monday up to do the things that only we can do. And that's, I think, a big thing in allowing us to grow and iterate so quickly.
Sure. And I also think that's really good advice for people, right? That are looking to kind of maybe not necessarily get into the motorbike space, but just anything where you're building something physically, you're like, well, I can do it, but it makes more sense to outsource these parts to another company, right? I think
Yeah.
that's really good advice. So obviously you kind of mentioned kind of what the bike is. So how can people get one? And what's the cost?
Today, a special price is $5,995,
Okay.
and people can visit our website. We just launched a new website we're really excited about, mondaymotorbikes.com. Of course, we're on social: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram has been. We have a lot of great photos and videos on Instagram, but you can buy your bikes on mondaymotorbikes.com. I encourage you to come visit the website and just kind of learn a little bit more about the bike itself. But of course, anybody, if they're interested, can also reach out to me directly. I'd be happy to, if not answer their question, point them in the direction to someone who can answer their question.
Sure. And so people come to the site, they order one. How long does it kind of take? I get that there's probably some shipping involved if they're not kind of within driving distance of you guys, but kind of walk me through, I place an order. How long would it roughly take me to get one?
If you placed your order today,
Yeah.
like all of the people who have placed their orders up until now, if you place your order today, you'll get your bike probably June or July of 2017.
Okay.
That's how excited people are about these things. And we can build a bike in about 8 hours.
Oh,
We
wow.
take it from start to finish. We build them all, one person, one bike, one day. And what that says is that there are enough people who see the benefit, who like the aesthetic, who like the ride feel, the experience, enough to put down their money and wait till July, June or July, anyways. So that's pretty exciting on our side. It's great if you're on the sales team.
Sure.
It's a challenge if you're on the manufacturing team. But what's really exciting to see these days is that the production facility, the production line, has really been ramping up. And today we have more bikes in process and more completed bikes than we've ever had. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's almost comparable to Tesla, right? If I bought a Tesla or I put my money down today for a Tesla, I'm waiting years or months at the very least. So
Yeah.
I think it's great that you guys are having that much success, that there's that much of that many orders that, and you guys are obviously fulfilling them, but that you're having that much success, right? Because you guys, like you said, you're still a startup, and I love that you guys are that successful and you haven't been around for like that long, right? Especially making something that's so complex as an electric motorbike.
Yeah, thank you. It's something we're very proud about, and what is so fulfilling, I think, about the whole thing is that there are so many people. Probably about 30% of the people who come to ride our bikes for a demo ride, they've never twisted a throttle in their life. They've never been on a four-wheeler. They've never
Really?
ridden a motorcycle. They've never been on a snowmobile. Any of these things where you either twist or squeeze a throttle, they've never been on that. And they get on the bikes. We walk them through the user controls, just like we do with experienced riders, and they're often riding like a natural in seconds. And if you've ever ridden a motorcycle or a scooter, I'm sure some of the
Sure.
listeners and viewers today have ridden, you know that it's an experience that's just so awesome to be able to twist the throttle and have that feeling of acceleration, the immersion in your environment, rather than say being in a car where you're in this little bubble that happens to be traveling through. It's an amazing experience that we're able to share with other people, which is that's awesome.
Sure, that is actually, you bring up something interesting there. I think it would be really rewarding to basically have somebody come to your facility. You basically put them on the bike and say, like, here you go, have a test drive. And then you can see them enjoy it, right?
Oh yeah. And they come back and all you see is just a face full of teeth because they're smiling so much. I
That's
love it.
awesome. So
Yeah.
I'm curious then, you said, you brought up something interesting that I kind of want to dive a little bit deeper in, where you say a lot of people have never potentially ridden a motorbike or four-wheeler. But why would they want to try your product then? That kind of seems, that's really interesting to me, that, they've never tried it, but they come to you guys. Why do you think that is?
Of all the people who reach out to us, and there are people who reach out to us to write a demo, there are
Okay.
people who reach out to join our mailing list or to just to learn a little bit more about the product. And one thing that is pretty consistent across the board, people really like the aesthetic. They like the look of it.
Okay. Very
It
cool.
looks cool. I mean, and that's not just me saying, I do say it, but other
Sure.
people say it. So there's certainly like the look side of things. Um, where was I going with this? And actually, I'm sorry, I lost a little bit my train of thought. One more time, repeat the
No, I,
question.
I was just going to say, like, why would people, like, you made a comment
Ah,
about being they haven't really ridden a motorbike or a four-wheeler before, and like, I just, why would they want to try your bike, right? Is kind of, was the question.
yeah, thank you. I got a little off track
No
there.
worries, man.
Um,
I'll edit it. It's cool.
the one thing that becomes very obvious to people very quickly are the pains, the challenges associated with getting around the city. Anybody who's sat in traffic during their commute or had to pile onto a crowded bus, uh, they feel the pain, and it's something that resonates with a lot of people. And that's one of the big things that a two-wheeler has over any four-wheeler solution out there, any cars, any buses, any trains, whatever it is. Um, it's it's the appropriateness of two-wheelers for a city, and in many cities around the world, two-wheelers are the norm
Sure.
because they can get to places that you can't get to with a car. They're faster, there's lower footprint, it reduces congestion, and it also is just an awesome feeling to be
Sure.
riding. But just from the practical side, it solves the problems of getting around the city.
Sure. And it's obviously a lot cheaper than a car, and you're not having to put gas in it. Um, I'm
Cost of ownership goes down, maintenance,
sure.
now because it's so low maintenance, you can spend more of your time riding than fixing.
Sure. And I'm I'm assuming that most people don't know how to fix their own bike of any kind or car, right? Most people have to take it somewhere to get it fixed. So that's a huge upside for you guys.
Absolutely. I mean, the serviceability is, or the service requirements are so low. And because it is really quite a simple machine, at least from the outside. The things that do require maintenance are things that most bicycle shops can handle
Oh,
and
interesting.
any motorcycle shop can handle. And if you've got 5 minutes, I can teach you everything that you need to do to maintain. There's no oil to change. There's no
Right.
clutch. There's no transmission. There's no air filters, no spark plugs, no timing chains. Because our bikes have regenerative braking, you may never need to even change your brake pads.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
so the maintenance is basically making sure you have air in your tires, which I think most people know how to do,
Yep.
and you make sure that your chain is lubricated and tensioned. Things that any bicycle shop can do, and certainly any motorcycle shop can do.
Sure. No, that's great, man. Well, we're kind of coming to the end of the show, so maybe let's close it with mentioning where people can get more information about Monday Motorbikes.
Yeah, I'd like to encourage anybody to visit mondaymotorbikes.com and explore around, learn a little bit about the product, and maybe schedule a test ride.
Perfect, Nathan. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be on the show, and I look forward to keeping in touch with you. And who knows, maybe we'll do another one of these at some point.
Looking forward to it. Kevin, great talking with you.
All right, we'll talk soon. All right,
Yep.
bye.
Later.